Everyone, another episode of True and Two. I can't wait for this one. I don't even know if I'll get to talk or if maybe Shelton will let me do all the talking because he already knows this guy inside out, upside down. These guys are best friends. There's no joke about that. And they met through motorcycles. They met through a bike show. We're going to unpack all of that for you with Taylor Santos from Shifter Crew. There's a whole posse of them. He just happens to be the quarterback. Today he's here calling the plays, and he's going to do our pre-Sturgis party. Stay tuned for Toronto.
I'm Taylor from Shifter Crew.
Yeah, well, tell them your full name. Come on.
Taylor Santos. I'm out of Louisville, Kentucky. Just left from Southern California, and I'm one of the founders of Shifter Crew.
All right. See, look at that. Now we got all that out of the way. The rest is going to be easy.
Yep. No more pressure now.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of True on Two tonight. And it's just an opportunity for us to dig in a little deeper and for you to understand what is Shifter Crew. Who is Taylor Santos? Where does this come from? Where did this start at? All those kind of things. Mm-hmm. And you guys, the two of you, are locked at the hip.
Yeah.
It's Shelton's fault that I do a lot of the things that I do.
Oh, okay.
Sure. It really is.
You got to blame
really
him.
It is.
Okay.
I just take it.
I've called Shelton multiple times before I've actually done something for the first time. And he's like, I'll be mad at you if you don't.
If you don't try it.
And I'm like, all right. And now I have a podcast.
Yep.
Okay. So bottom line, where did Shifter Crew, let's start there. Where did Shifter Crew, how did it even come out? How did they even become
the name?
Thing?
So it was all when I lived in Central California in Lemoore. I was still in the Navy at the time, obviously. And there was a group of guys that we kind of just happened into each other's company and had a great time. We used to rip around up to Sequoia all the time, up to Mountain House up in Badger, California. People from Central Valley are going to be like, oh my God, he's talking about Badger, California. Yeah. There's nothing up there. And it would be, we were all just into the same kind of bikes, We'd be like, all right, man, we're going up to Mountain House, last one there by his first round. You know what I mean? And then we were just riding, being crazy. And one of the things that we would start doing is we wanted to go down to San Diego all the time. So we'd rip down San Diego, cut through Bakersfield, through the Grapevine and all that. And on one of these trips, I had a shift linkage fall off the bike, just completely departed the bike. And I was coming up, if you've ever gone up the Grapevine, you know what it looks like leaving Central California, going up. It looks like Mordor. I mean, it's straight up and there's clouds up there. It was all bad. And I was cruising at 6 and went to downshift. And I mean, the lever's gone. There's nothing there. And so I'm going up that in 6th gear, stuck. And then we had my good friend Jake Highfill was on this trip as well. And he had purchased a set of mid-controls for an M8 and got a set for a twin cam. And just, I don't know what he did, but he made them work. And they worked until that trip. So him and I both had shift linkage issues on this trip. We finally make it to our buddy's house in San Diego, and he opens the door and he's like, well, the Shifter Crew is here. And we just thought that was funny. Like, that was all it started as. We did some little visor sticker decals. I still have the original one, like on my 2 helmets ago, but I'll never get rid of that visor because of that sticker.
Yeah, right on.
And then we really started doing all this and selling t-shirts and hats and stuff because we like going to events. Mm-hmm. And we were like, if we could have a pop-up tent at these events, it would just be an excuse to go to more of them. Mm-hmm. And now we're in a totally different place now. But it just started as
so how many years ago was that?
June 1st of 2022 is what we consider the birthday.
Okay.
So these stories probably started happening early 2022 is like when we started having issues. And then our site went live June 1st of 2022. So it was probably even the summer before that, that we're running around with stickers. I remember going to Arizona Bike Week, April the year prior, I think 2021, and having these Shifter Crew stickers and like trying to give them out. And everybody's like, what is this? Yeah. Like, what are you even doing? I'm like, I don't really know. It was just kind of funny, Yeah. And now, now I hand people stickers. They're like, oh, cool, thank you. And I'm like, somebody knew what that was, So that's a little crazy. I mean, it was, what we're really known for now is kind of the bike shows. And I do fully blame Shelton for that because... and
him.
Yeah, well,
He had a big part of it
so let's just segue that.
Okay.
How did you guys become even friends? How did you even meet?
So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but it was trying to do a bike show at Arizona Bike Week. And we needed to find a place that needed a bike show because Arizona Bike Week is one of the most successful, biggest rallies in the country, right? Mm-hmm. And it's been there a lot longer than I have. There wasn't, if you
want stuff in every venue, every place, everybody's got something going on.
It's pretty well covered.
Yeah.
So we went, I cannot remember, for the life of me, I can't remember his name. The gentleman that used to work here. who I bought my windshield for in 2021. Bought my windshield from, I'm sorry.
Dozy.
Yeah. So I met Dozy the year prior, and we wanted to put on a bike show. We realized Scottsdale Harley had all these great things going on. I mean, they got a bar, they got live music, they had everything but a bike show.
Yep.
So we started saying like, hey, we want to put on a bike show. Yeah. Okay. And if we call around, nobody's going to know who we are, you know? So I reached out to Dozy because I'd met him and had like his phone number, personal Instagram, whatever it was. Yep. It was like, hey, I want to do this bike show. I know you guys being Klockworks are hugely involved in Scottsdale Harley. Would you guys like kind of help me? And can I say your name essentially? And then people will pay a little bit more attention to what I'm saying. And he was like, just message the page directly and either Brian or Shelton will get back to you. And I was like, okay. So I sent this paragraph from my Shifter Crew page that has 230 followers at the time. I've been around for 3 days. I sent this paragraph of like a breakdown of my plan and what I want to do to the Klockworks page. And it gets read and nobody responds.
It was a great paragraph, but it was like 3, 4, 5 days until Parts and Labor.
Yep, until Parts and Labor.
And you had a post saying that you were going to be there.
Yep.
It was like, I'd rather have this conversation in person.
And that's what happened. So I was like, and it was April, you know, that Parts and Labor show's in January. So I probably sent it end of December, early January. And I was like, well, that didn't work. Maybe, you know, nobody knows who I am. It makes sense. You know, I wasn't like defeated. And then we're doing setup at Parts and Labor. And Shelton comes over. He's like, which one of you guys runs the Instagram? And I was like, that was me. He's like, I got your message. I knew you were going to be here. I want to talk to you in person. And I was like, okay. He's like, tell me your plan. And I broke through this whole plan. I remember this like it was yesterday. It was the first time I met you, first time I met Shelton. And I run through this whole plan of everything that I have. And he goes, all right, come with me. We're going to go talk to Brian about this. And we go over there and he's like, Brian, this is Taylor from Shifter Crew. Taylor, tell him your plan. And I tell you the whole plan. And you look at Shelton, you go, make it happen. And then our first bike show we ever did with those trophies said Shifter Crew and it had the Klockworks Spade on there. That was it. And that gave me the confidence. You guys saying do it gave me the confidence to call Scottsdale Harley.
I think that's one of those little morsels, right? Is so many times like you need somebody to believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And then once you get some credibility, right?
You can run with it.
Then you can run with it, right? But you gotta get that first. You gotta like understand that. Okay?
100%.
And then once you get that, like don't ever forget that, right? Okay, because that's the thing I think that people forget. Like they forget the humble side of it. They forget that, like, you know, when Arlen Ness told me I might have a future in this, when Willie G said, "Hey kid, I think you're onto something here, right? You've got a good eye." Right? Like I don't tell that to a lot of people, right? But that's how I got it, right? And that's how I got the boost, and that's how I got the injection to keep going, right?
The motivation, it's other people believing in you will give you the confidence to believe in yourself. Right. And you're like, they said I can do it. I can't. I mean, I talk about it all the time. Shifter Crew will never die because Bulletproof Welder believed in it. And he's not here to believe in it anymore. So I'm never going to let it go away. Right. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah.
Like, that's a big part of it. And like I said earlier, I've called Shelton a bunch of times, like, I think I want to do this. And he's like, you absolutely should. Yeah. And it'll be some harebrained, crazy idea.
Okay, but then I think we need to rewind it just a little bit because clearly, okay, Shelton, you deemed that his ask was legitimate enough that you wanted to meet him in person. Yeah. Okay. We get asked all the time here at this company
a lot
about, can you give us this? Can you sponsor that? Can you get behind our bike night? Can you get behind our parade? Can you get behind this cause, that cause, right? And so many times they're not a specific ask. Am I right?
Well, it's very broad and it's just like, can I have this? But it doesn't lead into any more. It's like, what is your idea behind it? And like his was very well thought out and like it was very detailed. It's like, this deserves attention, and I feel like it's way better as an in-person conversation where you can like actually judge someone's character and like understand the feelings and the emotion because you don't get that in a message.
Right. And so, and that's kind of ironic, right? In the world of Instagram, right, where we're connecting with people and community is being built around these social things that we have, right? These names, these tags. Our little resume that we put out there.
Everybody needs a little Instagram name on their chest, you know?
Yeah. And so the community grew and kind of stayed alive through that. And yet at the end of the day, we really just want to hang out in community.
Yeah.
Right? We want to be there in person. We want to hang out. We want to shake hands. We want to look at the bike. We want to talk about the parts. We want to talk about the struggles. We want to deal with it. Right.
Yep.
And I think that's you know, a little bit of the catalyst behind Shifter Crew. It's why, it's how you're bringing people together.
Exactly.
It's how you're bringing them in.
Exactly. And it'd be super easy to say like, hey, I do one bike show a year at Arizona Bike Week. I could have stayed right there forever and only done that. But I mean, how many times have I seen you guys this year since I've lived in Kentucky? I saw you guys in Louisville. I saw you in Minnesota. I've seen you in South
Do
Dakota.
we have to do this?
I mean,
It makes me tired just thinking about
I
it.
mean, I think that we were in Minnesota and Ian was like, dude, you're everywhere. And I was like, yeah. Because I love this.
Yeah.
And I want to go to Minnesota and see what those bikes look like.
Yeah.
That red Challenger has been on my mind since then.
Yeah.
Like, it's all these different...
Yeah, you get fed from all the places, from all the people, from all the builds, from all the characters.
Exactly. And it's satisfying to me. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, this is what they're doing here.
Yeah.
And if you're ever at a point where you're building a bike and you're like, man, I'm kind of at a stagnant point. I don't know what I want to do here. Like, get out of your bubble a little bit.
Go across the country.
Exactly. Go to a fishtail show
Yeah.
and draw some inspiration from what those guys are doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
go to Mitchell, South Dakota and just look at the bikes in here. There's okay.
There's
sorry.
no bikes.
There's no bikes here. I'm blinking. There are, like, just look at the history and heritage that's in this building. That's what I did for an hour today. You know, it's a unique community. I'm appreciative of it.
Okay, so speaking of unique communities, you were in the service.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a unique community. So tell me a little bit about that. What drove that choice? What made you want to do it?
I am easily the luckiest person alive when it comes to my military career. From the time I was like early on in high school, I always knew like, I'm not going to college. I didn't have the brain for it. I didn't have the capacity for it. I didn't have the attention span for it. It wasn't going to happen. And I just kind of choked my way through school. And I was like, I'm going to join the service. I'm going to join the service. Well, I turned 17 or whatever, graduate high school. And I was like, I don't know if I actually want to go do that. You know, maybe we'll take some time here. Yeah. And I took a year off and I worked at Court Furniture. I worked at Steak and Shake. I worked at a greenhouse. I mean, just
all the things.
Really not enjoyable jobs to find out that I didn't want to do that. And I started taking it more serious and considering going into the Navy.
This was in Michigan.
This was in Michigan, yep, in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I was living with a girl at this time, not a girlfriend or anything like that, just a roommate. And I was working at Court Furniture. I come home one day and everything was gone. Everything. I mean, the couches, the bed, the stereo system, the TVs, the cups, the plates, the glasses, gone.
That is a great yard sale.
Yeah, they cleared out. And I realized then I'd been paying her the rent money, tried to get a hold of her. She wouldn't answer the phone. She texted me back like, hey, I moved. I'm in Grand Rapids now. I'm like, well, you took all my stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's gone. She hadn't been paying the rent. We got evicted and I didn't even know. And I walked outside and I sat on the stoop of that apartment. It was on Santos Ave or Santos Street, whatever it was. I still remember that because it was my last name. And I sat on the stoop and was like, okay, I'm homeless, legitimately homeless.
Yeah.
And I need to figure this out. Yeah. And I called the recruiter and was like, so how about those jobs? Like, what are we doing here? And he could have sold me
anything at that moment.
And I would have taken it. Been all in, you know?
Come in. Come in. It's okay. It's okay.
What's up, dude? So much of the soda.
Okay. Hey. So we're doing Tron 2. Okay. We're talking to Taylor. You just got to sit nice, okay? Deal? I don't need the eye rolls. I'm asking nice. Okay, so Santos Avenue, sitting on the stoop. You call the guy.
Yep.
And to your point, he could have sold you any
kind of job in the world. There could have been, I could have been shipping paint off the side of the ship. I would have had no idea. You know, I got really lucky, and they had a pamphlet with these jobs that were like the cool jobs in the Navy, you know, and one of them was a rescue swimmer, and I had no idea what that was or what that entailed, but I knew I wanted to like help people. I didn't want to go be a SEAL and like do stuff like that. I wanted to help people, and that was it. I had to do a bunch of physical stuff, like a psych eval, all these different things, and ended up getting selected for that program. It was like another few months. I stayed with a friend of mine's mom in the meantime, and it was, I think I was initially supposed to leave in November, and I was like, that's not gonna work, guys. Like, I'm living in somebody's spare bedroom. I'm 18 years old, I gotta go. So they ended up bumping me up to June, and I just kind of like, I remember getting to boot camp, and there's people that have been thinking they're going to do this for like their whole lives, and they knew exactly what program they were going to go into, and they spent a year getting selected for it. And everybody
seemed a lot more confident.
Yeah, they knew. And I got there, and I remember being like, well, I guess we're here. And I'm they broke us up into groups of people. Like my division was all like rescue swimmers, EOD guys, divers. They broke us up into like-minded groups of people. And I'll never forget like day 3 being there and they're all talking about this pipeline. That's the infamous pipeline that everybody talks about and how it's going to be. And they were like, yeah, man, rescue swimmer school down in Pensacola, that's going to be like crazy. And I remember like, is that what we're going to? Are we going there next? And they were like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? How does he not know this? And I had no idea what I was getting into and got incredibly lucky and just rolled with it until I was doing the thing and ended up in Virginia Beach for about 9 years. I was pretty set on getting out. And then they offered me like some dream orders that I couldn't turn down. Yeah. Stayed in. That's how I got to California.
That relates directly to motorcycle shows.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people don't want to put their bike in there, or they've built their bike their whole life, just trying to get to that point and going, am I ready to step into the arena?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And whether you're ready or you're not ready, step in.
Just get in there and you're never going to know.
Otherwise, you wait until that moment where you're out on the step, you got nothing. And you're like, put me in, coach. I don't know what else to do, right?
Yep.
Don't wait for that. Put yourself in, coach. And then once you get there, you're going to find the same thing. Like-minded people that have like-minded bikes or have come up against a similar problem or a similar thing. And that is community. Just the same as you're talking about in the Navy.
And that's something I think subconsciously I've always seeked out. I didn't really know, but I've always wanted to be a part of something. We all have, whether or not we want to admit it.
Yeah.
We all want to be a part of a community. And this has been a fantastic transition from the military. If it wasn't for Shifter Crew, I would probably be in a totally different place in my life because I wasn't expecting to get out. I got out kind of unexpectedly.
Right on.
And I had a thing. I knew which way I was going, and I'm so appreciative for that, you know?
Well, I mean, you've experienced the same thing with bike shows.
Yeah.
You know, you've been out there, you've put yourself out there, you've been chastised, you've been praised, all the things, right?
Yeah.
And so I think you're right. I think so many times we want to live in community. We just don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And yet,
100%.
you know, I remember like every time I've seen the two of you, right, in the same venue, right, you're like Velcro, right? Because as soon as you're in the same place, whether it's in Louisville or whether it's in Phoenix or whether it's in San Diego or wherever the hell we're at, right? If you get more than 24 hours together, you're 24 hours together. You're 24 hours hanging out, talking motorcycles, laughing, joking, being stupid, being smart, doing all the things.
Brainstorming. I mean, we'll even, this year, Arizona Bike Week, we were set up across from each other. I was like, all right, we'd take a break and go over there for a little while and then come back over here and just, and it just builds that. I remember 2 years ago at the Sturgis house, remember when he fired the bike up for the first time, the FXR? Like, I remember that. And people were coming running downstairs and it was
it's
like,
alive.
it's alive. And everybody been waiting. I'll never forget that.
Pretty sure Carly threw a glass of wine across the deck.
It was, I remember that night, you know, and that stuff, I don't know.
Those are great memories.
Forget,
so that is great stuff to celebrate. Okay?
Exactly.
So as you're heading down the road, okay, now your Shifter Crew shows are all over the nation, and it's primarily because there's a need. It's not because you're trying to invest money over here, you're trying to invest money over there.
There's no.
You're going because they need you.
100%. And that's the thing about it is a lot of times, and I'd be ashamed if I didn't thank Zach for how much he's done for us this year. Like Zach is on the team and he's about it and he is crushing it on the West Coast for us right now because I obviously don't have the ability to. But there's so much more to it than just showing up with trophies. It's, hey, you guys have this event going on. Let me take this portion of it off of your plate. And there's coordination and there's a lot more to it. There's day of setup. There's getting there early that morning. There's figuring out parking. There's figuring out how people are going to vote for it. And you have to spend all the money to not only get there, but get the trophies. But it's our way
and
of
they
giving back.
expect you to do social media.
100%. 100%. Are you taking a shot right now?
No, I'm saying it's a big thing. Yeah. And people don't understand that.
It's the marketing aspect.
You have to do every step of the thing, and you have to tell the story from A to Z. Otherwise, they're not going to listen.
Right.
They don't care. Right.
Right.
And Now here's the elephant in the room. Here's the real trick, right?
Okay.
You're doing a bike show.
Yep.
People are pissed.
Every time.
How do you deal with it?
When people don't win.
Yeah. Everybody thinks their bike is better than everybody else's bike.
I do try, and I don't think I've ever done a bike show and not had somebody in some form upset at me afterwards. But I do try to thank everybody for coming out. And obviously, I wish I could give everybody one of those. I don't even have one of them. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
but we don't live in a
we don't live in
participation
that
world.
Exactly.
We shouldn't. Okay.
No.
We should not.
Because somebody did the extra effort.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put in the extra time.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody earned the extra money to buy the expensive paint or whatever the case
Or took that
is.
extra step and got their
Yeah.
frame done.
That's what I mean.
Painted a frame, powder coated a frame. Like if you have that, it's like, dude, this guy's really into this. There's certain things.
Yeah, and suddenly his
Set
wiring
apart.
looks better than somebody else's wiring,
Mhm.
and all the bolts match. And
Mhm.
I mean,
There's
there's
not
a
four
lot
different
that
colors
goes
of
into it.
gold on it. Or
And yet, when people get upset
Mhm.
and they come up to you and they're like, "This is crap.
Mhm.
Why not mine?"
I haven't had a situation necessarily like that. I've had a lot of, and I don't think we live, how do I say this? We live in a world where it's really easy to say bad things about people from far away. And that has gotten away from the people having uncomfortable confrontations. And when I say confrontations, I don't mean arguments or just an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
it
Sometimes really good things come out of that. You know what I mean? Not
For
every
sure.
conversation I have with him isn't great. Sometimes he's like, you sure? You know what I mean? Like that happens.
Yeah, and you have
That's
to
a
argue,
part of
and
it.
you have to argue your point
Exactly.
because you believe that, and he has to
Mhm.
argue his point because he
Mhm.
believes that. Right?
Yeah.
The thing that I've experienced with this is it'll be people say something like online afterwards. And it's like,
Yeah.
hey man, hope to see you at the next one. You have to just kind of kill that with kindness. There's been some fantastic bikes that haven't won a show of ours yet. And it's like,
But they might have showed up at the toughest show. Also.
exactly. And
I mean,
sometimes there's,
you might get 10 of the best bikes in the nation
Mhm.
at the same show,
Exactly.
and there's one People's Choice.
I mean, what were we supposed to do when we first started and all of our friends were entering the show and you got Porky and Bulletproof Welder entering and they're the Kern County Killers? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what the hell am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that was a thing, of
Yeah.
course, you know?
And then
So-
you have, I think, Jess Roast bike in that mix
Oh,
and
man,
everything.
like-
Like, there was a lot of
Yeah,
great
the
bikes.
Arizona show, like I remember that and being like, whoa. And I remember that show. And one of the things that we've done, and we used to do this with Trevor a lot, RIP, if you've won a show, we'll have you come back. Like Miles Sumner, One Clean Dyna on Instagram, just bought Porky's old bagger, right?
okay, yeah.
He's won a couple of our shows. Like if he's at an event, I'm like, Miles, you're judging. Get in here. Help me figure this
Yeah.
out. And I think I took that from the Live Fast Rally, who I'd taken a lot of inspiration from. But for years, they only had 3 bikes in their show, or 3, I'm sorry, trophies or awards or categories, right?
Right.
And the previous year winners would come back and judge it.
Because to be judged by your peers, there's nothing honestly greater, in my
Mhm.
opinion. Like when we did the AMD shows, when that was a big thing, and it was,
Yep.
Matt Hotch and Roger Goldhammer and Fred Krueger and all the
Mhm.
guys, right? We were all
Right.
there, right? But I mean, it's all of us
Right.
judging all of us,
hmm
right?
And that's
So
the
we
way
brought
to
our
do
A
it.
games because we're like, I know he's bringing his A game, right? And so when you get there, you're like, man, I got to do my best. I got to do my level best. And then when, somebody like Roger just throws down the trump card, and I mean, I'm like, dude, brain is amazing.
Mhm.
Like how you even had the focus to come up with that
Mhm.
and then to execute on it. I just don't even get it. I don't
Yep.
even know where you came from, but all good, sir. All
Yeah,
good, right?
yep.
It's one of
Yep.
those bow down moments where you're like, that's so good. You know why? Because I still want to have heroes.
Yeah,
In my life, I don't want to be the hero. I want to
Mhm.
have heroes.
I want
exactly.
people to inspire me still, right? Like
Right.
someone to learn from.
And I want to be around those people.
Yeah.
Like you are the sum of who you hang out with. I drove 14 hours yesterday to go to his house.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to be around. And I felt bad because I was like, dude, I'm so tired. I have to go to bed. But like, that's
Yeah,
what
but
I
then,
want to be
you got
around.
up today and got brownies.
Yeah. Came here.
Where
first
do you
thing.
get better home cooked?
Oh, dude, those brownies were so good. And then it was so funny because everybody
You know
here,
who made them?
everybody told me there's a local guy that brings by every Monday.
His name
Brings
is
sweets.
Daniel Whip,
Yep.
and he brings baked goods of some kind. It could be lemon bars, it could be blueberry something, it could be whatever brownies, whatever's today. Every Monday, right? He's retired from the Department of Transportation, the Highway Department at South Dakota, the state of South Dakota. He has an FXR.
Mm-hmm.
And he has 650,000 miles on his FXR.
Really?
Second motor that he just put in 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Really?
So he made it over 550,000 miles on one motor.
Yeah, he was just shy of 600,000, I think.
I didn't make it 40.
and he bakes.
Yeah.
And he's good at it.
Oh, man.
Right?
It was so funny because, like, I was sitting in that room today and I was, like, doing some analytic stuff and sending some emails and whatever. And everybody walked by like, get a brownie, get a brownie, get a brownie.
I asked you if you were the brownie patrol.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I
was
them.
like, I was the troll, like guarding the brownies. I felt like, but then at one point I like went downstairs, came back up, and somebody had like cut up a brownie for me and put it next to my computer. I'm like, that's my 5th brownie. Like, I've been doing so good. Like,
So much for the diet.
Still ate it.
So what's on the list? What's on the list for Shifter Crew? Like when you and Zach and the guys get together, the original team, whatever.
Yep. And Dan.
What do you want to do next?
As far as like changing, or what do we have next on the year?
I don't know. Anything. You just tell me where you going. Give me the roadmap of Shifter Crew.
The big thing that I'm trying to focus on, we are in year 4 now, and I want so badly to have my schedule set January 1st. I want to know what I'm doing. And we're getting closer to that. This year, I know we have August 6th, the pre-Sturgis party in Mitchell, South Dakota. You guys need to be at that. Mm-hmm. That'll be right here.
Yep.
Then we've got, in September, we have an event in Idaho. It used to be called the Sandpoint Showdown. It's now across the river in Ponderay. Okay. And then our annual end of the year is the West Coast Classic that moves locations every year throughout San Diego.
Oh, nice.
That's wrapping up our year.
Okay.
So that's kind of like where you can find us. And we've made some adjustments. Like we do Daytona now. We do a couple different things. I'm really, really, really hammering the podcast because that's what I look forward to, is talking to people and hearing those stories and understanding what makes people tick and how they got to the point that they're at. Because I can learn something from that. And if I can learn something from it, so can everybody else, you know?
They're learning from you right now.
Yeah, exactly. And this is cool to me. This is like unfiltered, real conversation about kind of where we came from, you know? That's my huge focus right now because I feel like I can reach the most people with that. And it's not, if you listen to like Jason, the Hardway J, I just did a podcast with him last week. And I mean, I was like, I probably had 30 minutes where I didn't speak because I was just so in awe of what this guy was telling me. And I was like, there's so many people out there like that that could benefit from getting their story out and other people can learn from. And that's kind of been the thing that's making me tick all of a sudden. Obviously, like, we love the shows, but I want to get out and travel. I brought the podcast equipment here.
Nice.
However many people I can talk to on the road, I want to do that. You know what I mean? And I got that from Jace Hudson, watching him go on these crazy ass trips, and he knocks out 10 of them, and they're all 4 hours. I'm like, oh man, he's pretty long-winded now. You know what I mean? But like, that's kind of my focus.
And that's our goal. We're trying to unwrap the package within 20 to 30 minutes here. We're trying to figure out, like, what are the things, what are the nuggets, what are the things people can take away? And one of the takeaways in this case was you had a thought about the Navy.
Yep.
You had a bit of a plan, and yet you shied away from it. Boom! Suddenly you're done. You got to make a choice, right?
Yep.
And sometimes it takes that. Sometimes it takes your back up against a wall. Sometimes it takes you being the brokest you've ever been, the most mentally anguished you've ever been in your life, to say, okay, I need help.
Yep.
Just put me in, coach, please. Somebody step up, right? And in that moment that they step up, you step up.
Yep.
Right?
And I say it all the time, like, I take my friends very serious because there've been a lot of times in my life where all I've had was really good friends to get me through some stuff like that. And that's kind of what we're pursuing, is meeting more people like that and doing more of that stuff. It started as an excuse to do that in the first place.
I get it. I mean, you joked around about all the bikes in here, and you're not really joking. There's a lot of bikes
in here.
And so, I mean, you know, I'm going to be 60 years old in September. I'm going to die with a lot of motorcycles. And it's okay, right? But at the end of the day, I hope that people don't think about my motorcycles. I hope they think about, I remember that experience. I remember that Biltwell show where Shelton came up and said, this is Brian Klock, pitch your idea, and you guys made it happen. The two of you. I didn't even do anything.
You didn't. You said make it happen. You did.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's so much stuff you're gobbling up sometimes. You just got to give somebody the reins and say, okay, here, you drive drive the wagon. Let's just go. Right? Let's keep moving.
I remember how cool it was to me at the time. And now we're friends. Now I have a phone number I can call you. And I think that is super cool too. I remember like you taking 5 minutes to talk to me because you were on stage the night before. I don't know if you remember that. You were on stage with Lowbrow Customs, all those guys. I'm like, holy shit, I'm talking to Brian. Like, I'm pitching my ideas. Like,
at the Billwell thing.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, I mean, I don't ever look at it like that. Like I told you today, like I could care less if people knew there's a Brian Klock and Clockworks. Clockworks is about a great group of people that do incredible things, and they all have customer service at the top of their brain. And if you come in or you're in trouble, they're going to drop whatever they can. They're going to call whoever they can in the nation to make something happen for you. That's what Clockwork stands for.
Yeah. And it shows in this building as you walk around. It's like a representation of all these people. I mean, walking through the lobby area, right?
I thought it was fun. It was fun to listen to you today. You can go ahead and say it because not everybody gets the experience you got.
Oh, I got the tour. Ian did a great job of giving me the tour. And I was like, I had no idea that you guys have a campus.
Yeah.
Like there's a half a city block in Mitchell, South Dakota, if you guys don't know, with like clockwork spades on all of them. And I'm looking around like, all right, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. And it all started out of a 700 square foot single car garage, you know? So to your point, sometimes like you just have to have that long game. You have to have that long vision. Where are you going to get with it? Right?
Yep.
Well, I hope the best for Shifter Crew. I hope the best for what's next for you guys. I think it's cool that you're living, you know, in Louisville and things are still happening in California on the West Coast.
Yep.
We get to see you more. You're traveling through. We're traveling.
We're in a lot more of the same places now.
Yeah, we're traveling by your door all the time. So, what a treat. If you've not been to a Shifter Crew show, you got to get there. I can't explain to you enough how fantastic the trophies are that he tries to create because he knows he's only going to do 3 or 4 classes. There's only going to be 3 or 4 chances to have the bomb trophy.
Thank you.
And you have switched. It's not always the same sponsor because it's a lot of money.
Yep.
Right?
It is. And
so you're just hoping somebody will come alongside of you every time, right?
Pretty much. I mean, it's a lot. You got to sell a lot of t-shirts to pay for those.
I get it.
And I mean, it is. We've been super fortunate with you guys. I mean, GP Suspension is like all in on whatever we want to do. I cannot thank Corey and those guys enough for helping us out. And that's kind of the new standard of what the people, we want to do business with people that take us as serious as we take them.
Yeah.
You know? And that's been pretty crucial in keeping this all going, is getting people to help you, you know?
Where can they find you?
On
Instagram?
Instagram is our big one. We have a Facebook page that we don't really do a whole lot with, and a TikTok as well, but it's just shifter.crew on Instagram. Our Spotify is The Shifter Show. Our podcast is The Shifter Show on Spotify.
Okay.
That's really the 2 big places. And then you can just email us too if you get on Shopify. Somebody did that about us throwing a bike show next year last week, and I was like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, who knew, right? Yeah.
I got an email. We're going to do a bike show.
and don't be careful what you wish for.
I know, it might open the floodgates.
Sheldon will tell you how many ways people can get a hold of us here at Clockworks, and it's insanity.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Like all of a sudden you're like, did they message me on this or that?
Yeah.
Was it over here or did they send me an email?
And you'll
did
lose
they text
it.
me or did I? Yeah. And so, you know, our apologies to everybody, but at the end of the day, we're excited. We hope that you've already joined us at the pre-Sturgis party. If you've not and you missed it, shame on you, but catch the next Shifter Crew show at shifter.crew on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, stay tuned for more episodes of True on 2, true stories about guys who just love 2 wheels and want to share the passion with you. Show up at a Shifter Crew show. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yes, sir. And thank you for having me, Brian.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Thanks,
You're
bro.
the best. And I know you don't even have to thank him because you'll probably hang out with him all night. You guys going out
We're
for
going to dinner after this.
All right. Sounds good.
Sweet.
That's a take.